Mm. Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. So today's game, Man United versus Liverpool match preview. Obviously there was talk about the game not going ahead. Thankfully, the game will be played. And again, for Man United, it's important. You know, obviously, don't want to be playing this game later on down the line where it's going to be a fixture congestion, especially with Europa going on as well. But yeah, I think obviously no surprises. Liverpool the favourites. For me, I think if United can manage to get out of there with a draw, I think they would have done well, because I don't see anything other than a draw or loss for United. I think that team selection for me from Amorim is going to be key. We're going to run through it in a minute. I'm going to give my team, and I think it's going to be important as to where he deploys certain players for me. But I would expect Liverpool to win the game, if I'm honest. I can see it being a 3-0 game. I don't think it's going to be the 7-0s that people have been talking about. I think United won't get beat that bad, even though it is possible. But I think I'm looking at a 3-0 result for Liverpool, for me, to be honest. I think the form they're in, obviously their last league game against West Ham, I think they beat West Ham 5-0. Should have been more as well. And I think obviously being it like not a Manchester derby, but being like Man United's rivals, I think United won't want to go there and get embarrassed, in my opinion. So it's going to be important for Amorim to set up in the right way. But I think Liverpool will still win the game 3-0. I'm going to go through the league table quickly. Let's just see the league table, because, I mean, it's to be honest with you, it's shocking for United. Let's have a look at this. So league table at the moment. So Man United are down in, look, can't even get them on the screen. So Man United down in 14th position at the moment. 22 points played from 19 games. And I believe Crystal Palace, yeah. So Palace are a point behind as well. So this is a must not lose game for United, as I said in my description. Must not lose game. You know, United need to get a draw. As I said, I don't think they haven't got enough to get the win, but not losing is a must. But it's going to be difficult. But as you can see there from Man United, even they're a point behind West Ham. So and then 2 points behind Tottenham. But I think in terms of the top four, obviously top four is not going to be gettable. There's too many teams that are better than United this season. And I think, well, Man United are more close to the bottom than they are to the top. So, yeah, again, it's going to be a tough game today. But that league table is not looking good. Obviously, -5 goal difference as well. And scoring the goals has been a problem for United this season, you know. Obviously, I've spoken about Man United's forward options this season. I'd go as far as saying it's possibly the weakest part of the team. You know, I think only Amad Diallo and for me, Joshua Zirkzee obviously hasn't been playing enough. But for me, only Amad Diallo in that front line has any real quality. And again, United need to be looking in January how they can strengthen that position. And they need to be looking to the summer in getting rid of a lot of these players that I'm going to talk about in a bit as well. So for me, yeah, it's important that United get a result today, and at least if they get a draw, as I said, you'd be joint 13th with West Ham on goal difference, and then they can start trying to see how they can climb up the table. But I think what's important for me as well is that Amorim gets a settled team, because the team that I'm going to pick, which again he's not going to play, but for me this will be the strongest team and more balanced as well. And again, against Newcastle, it was a similar team that I wanted to see Amorim play, which he didn't. And arguably, that's been one of United's worst performances this season. And again, I think Man United's best performance under Amorim this season has been the 4-0 game against Everton at home. And if you look at that game, you had Joshua Zirkzee starting, you had Ahmad starting, you had more of the ball players that were playing. I'm not sure if Kobe started as well. But again, it's just the better football players you've got on the pitch, the more chance you have of winning. You know, too many times I've seen United through the years playing with players that are not technically efficient on the ball. They're more just players that get around the pitch. And I think if Amorim can start to, you know, mold his team into having the technicians on the pitch, Man United are going to be playing better football and they will be getting better results as a whole as well. So, yeah, I think it's important that he kind of looks at a team now that has better technical quality as a whole for the team, you know. But yeah, that reading in the league doesn't look good for United. 14th position, and again, another loss today. And then if you look at if Palace win their next game, even Everton, if Everton managed to get a win in their next game, you're looking at them closing the gap. So, you know, Man United need to be careful. I mean, I don't believe United will get relegated, but it needs to be United need to be picking up points, because I think after this, I believe their next league game it might be a Southampton, I believe. But yeah, again, it's not looking good, man. So yeah, United need to be they need to be getting some wins together, you know, and trying to see if they can climb as high as possible up the table. I mean, I think the season's over for United in terms of league positions, but obviously I think it's about confidence and them preparing for the Europa League, in my opinion. But yeah, it's not looking good. So I'm going to go to the lineup that I would play. So let's have a look. So obviously Amorim's 3-4-3 system. And again, I think this will be ideal for Amorim to play for me. And again, I think it's going to be important that he plays this lineup, because United need to obviously nullify Liverpool's threat, which is obvious, which is out wide. And again, they need to have a midfield in there that is going to be, you want to have legs in there as well to compete with Liverpool's midfield. But you need to have players, again, that have quality in the final third, you know. So for me, obviously, no surprises in goal is going to be Andre Onana. Again, I know Onana's come under heavy criticism, but I will still stick with Onana. And again, there's no chance of Bayern there playing because he's not good enough. But yeah, Onana needs to have a better performance than he has been lately. But again, I expect him to be busy. And I think this is going to be the kind of game where you're possibly going to see Onana not at his best, but you're going to see what his shot stopping is really like. So I think Liverpool will have a lot of chances, and you're going to kind of see what he's got to offer, really. But I still believe Onana, obviously, with ball at his feet, there's no issue there. His kicking has been a bit off lately, but I think that he needs to, I think he needs to command his box a bit more better as well, especially from crosses. You know, I think if you look at today's game from the corners, I can see Liverpool targeting Onana from crosses again and from the corners. So he's going to need to be on his game. But I'm more looking towards the summer in a sense. I don't believe United will go and get another keeper. So I think in the summer, once Amorim builds his team, I think you will see a better Onana, you know, for me. And then, so going on to the defense. So for me, right-sided defense has to be Lenny Yoro. The very fact that he's going to be playing, because I believe that Arne Slot is going to play Luis Diaz as a false nine. And just like when I said in my last preview that the three at the back should have been Yoro, De Ligt and Mazraoui is because Alexander Isak likes to drift into the half space on the left. And obviously, you've got Anthony Gordon on the left as well. And both players have a lot of energy. You know, both players have quality as well. And I think you're going to need someone that's mobile. And for me, Lenny Yoro's got the pace. You know, he's got the youthful exuberance as well. And I think him playing on that right side of the three to deal with a Cody Gakpo, who I believe is going to play as well, and to deal with Luis Diaz, who likes to drop into that space, is going to be crucial. So for me, Lenny Yoro has to start just to match the pace from Diaz and Gakpo, and obviously because he's mobile as well. I know he's young, but again, he's been brought to Man United for a reason, and yeah, he has to play in that on that right side of the three for me, 100%. Then in the centre for me, again, Matthias de Ligt. I know Harry Maguire has been playing okay as of late, but de Ligt has to play in that centre for me, purely to deal with Diaz as well. I think who's going to play in the false nine, and because de Ligt's more mobile than Harry Maguire, and he's obviously he is dominant in the air as well. I think in a sense you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, because de Ligt's powerful in the air, but he's also quicker along the grass than what Maguire is. So for me, de Ligt's a must play in that position there. And then on the left side, the three, again, I like a left-footed player in that position. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing Malacia play as a left-sided centre-back because he's left-footed and he's tenacious as well. But I think Mazraoui has to play there. Obviously, defensively, Mazraoui is very good. Again, you're going to have an African battle on that side as well, up against Mo Salah. So I think playing Mazraoui out there to deal with Salah is going to be key. You know, obviously both African as well. So yeah, I think that'll be a good move from Amorim if he does it. And for me, that'll be the strongest back three I'll go with: Mazraoui, de Ligt, and Yoro. I think Mazraoui's job there would be solely to just watch Mo Salah and try and nullify his threat. Obviously, Salah likes coming inside as well for the shot. Mazraoui obviously is good defensively. So I think playing him there to deal with Salah will be ideal. And then again, you've got someone that's mobile as well, especially with Luis Diaz, because I think Luis Diaz will definitely play, and Diaz will like to drift in and out of the half spaces on either side. So it's ideal having Mazraoui playing there and having Lenny Yoro to either side of Matthias de Ligt. And I think if United can have that back three there, I think that's a strong back three. And I don't see I don't see Liverpool having too much joy, if I'm honest, in comparison if you're having Lisandro Martinez there or Harry Maguire there. So I think that's the best back three that United can play. And I'm hoping that that Amorim picks that back three, because I think it's got a bit of everything. Yeah, it would be ideal to have a left-footed player on the left side, but I think Mazraoui can do that job there, no problem. And again, I think Mazraoui is better in this system in the back three, because he's very good from playing that from the back as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Going on to the right side of the 3-4-3 as the wing back, for me, has to be Anthony. Anthony has to start this game for me, because I believe, you know, if Anthony is, I mean, there's reports obviously of people saying that he's on his way out the club, but I think in this game is going to be essential. And reason being, for this system, you need a winger in this system on as a wing back. And I think Anthony is tenacious. You know, Anthony does do his defensive responsibilities as well. And I think dealing with Cody Gakpo, I think you need someone like Anthony who's gonna track back as well, because Gakpo at the moment is playing very well. And obviously, if you want to support Lenny Yoro, having Anthony there, who's got an attacking presence and can defensively do his job as well, I think he's going to be essential. And again, United have scored goals when they've had a winger at wing back. So I think United need to show some intent to have an Anthony playing there rather than having two fullbacks as the wing backs, you know. And I think having Anthony there will be a good move for me. That United need to look at, well, that Amorim needs to look at doing today, to be honest. So definitely for me. And on the left side, I think purely to deal with the threat of Mo Salah, and again, Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. I think you're going to need someone who's tenacious, and that's Tyrell Malacia. I think Malacia is a certainty that he has to play for me. Obviously, being left-footed as well, and again, he can offer the defensive cover to help out Mazraoui deal with Mo Salah, and again, kind of lock down that side of the pitch, in my opinion. So I think if you've got Mazraoui and Malacia down that side of the pitch against Trent and Mo Salah, I think first and foremost, I think that's more than capable to kind of deal with the threat. I mean, you probably won't stop him for the whole 90 minutes, but I think it's more capable than having Lissandro and Dallo on that side. So having Mazraoui and Malacia again that can match both for pace as well is going to be key for me. And I think again, you've got one defensive player on one side and one wing on the other side, and I think having that combination there is going to be vital for me. And then again, if you want to, if let's say for instance he plays this team, and it's 0-0 for argument's sake on the 70th minute, then you might want to put on a more attacking substitution. Or you might want to go a bit defensive again. You might want to put a Dallo on for an Anthony and then keep Malacia there or whoever. You might want to go a bit defensive if you want to try and get the point. But I think having one defensive one side and one attacking is what United need to be doing, especially with the players available. So I'm happy with that. And then going into midfield, again, returning from suspension, Manuel Ugarte. Again, Ugarte is not the greatest on the ball. But I think, especially in a game like this, you're going to need his defensive know-how. You're going to need his legs in the midfield. It's going to be crucial because I think that midfield of Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and I reckon it might be Dominic Szoboszlai that might start. He could have Curtis Jones, but I think Szoboszlai might start purely because they're going to want to try and overrun United's midfield. I think so. I think Szoboszlai might start, and then they might bring on Curtis Jones later on in the game. It's probably to give a different impetus in the midfield. But I think Ugarte is a must in this game. Again, I'm not really a massive fan of Ugarte, but I think in this system at the moment and what United have, he's a shoo-in to play for me at the moment. And again, to go alongside him, this is going to be crucial from Amorim because Amorim needs to play. Again, this is a player that I'm not a big fan of, and he needs to be moved on. But it's obvious that he's going to come back and play because he's been made the captain. But for me, it's crucial as to where Amorim plays him, And Bruno Fernandes, again, serious question marks on this guy about being moved on in the summer. But for this game, he needs to be playing next to Ugarte. I think the best thing that Amorim can do in this game is play him there because, again, he's not good enough to be playing in that position. But for this system, I don't want to see Kobbie Mainoo play there because for me, Kobbie Mainoo needs to be playing in one of these three. So Kobbie Mainoo starts for me, but not in that position. And I think if you want to have energy in this system, having Ugarte and Bruno who are going to provide the energy, I'm cool with that to January and to the summer. But if you want to play those two, or if you want to play Bruno Fernandes, Bruno has to play in that position there. Big up Nick. So with the current form of both teams, you might go 4-1 Liverpool. To be honest with you, Nick, I agree. I can see it being a 4-1 game, although I can't really see United scoring, if I'm honest. It depends what lineup he goes with, because the lineup that I've put on here, I can't really see him going with this lineup. And I think if he goes with the lineup that I think he's going to go with, I can see it being that kind of scoreline. But United probably not scoring, So, but 4-1 is not really a surprise to me, But I think personally, I can see it being a 3-0, if I'm honest. I think if he plays this team here that I'm going to put up now, I think this team's good enough to at least stay in it to like get. I think this team's good enough to stay into it to half time. I think I think they can be nice and compact. Have players that are threatening on the break as well. Having an attacker out wide, having someone defensively on the other side. I think that will work well. So for me, I think that would be good enough to get them through to half time, and then see obviously what changes that Liverpool do. But if he goes with the lineup that I think he's going to go with, I can see it being bad because you're going to need players in this team that have ball retention. And if I look at this team now, the team that I'm going to play, you've got 3 players, especially in the front line that I'm going to play, that have ball retention. Antony has ball retention as well. I think the least ball retention players in this team are players like Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. Ugarte obviously is a 5-yard passer, and Bruno wants to do hoofball. So, but the front 3 for me is going to be important for what he plays, and where he and the kind of combination that he plays as well. So, just going back onto that. So, obviously, no surprises on the right-hand side. For me, United's best player, and that's Amad Diallo. Again, Amad hasn't been great, but then again, who has been in the last few games? But not too much to say on Amad. I think Amad just needs to get a cohesive team behind him. Him having someone like Antony to play that right wing back will allow him to play his game as well. So I think what's happened, there's been too much focus and too much pressure on Amad to deliver for a team that is failing. And I think with having Antony on that side, Amad won't have to do too much work on that side to kind of create. So and him and Antony can kind of interchange if they want, and they can kind of dovetail nice in that position that Amad plays as well. So definitely I'm expecting Amad to have a good game as well. I think Amad up against Andy Robertson on that side as well. Andy Robertson is going to be a good battle as well, because Robertson, you would say that he's kind of tailing off a bit now as well, and Amad will fancy his chances. Obviously he'll have Van Dijk on that side of the pitch as well, covering for Robertson. But I think if Amad can get some joy against Robertson, I think that will go a long way to seeing United have a positive result, to be honest with you. And then left side, again, already spoken about him, and that's Kobbie Mainoo. Ruben Amorim, I believe Kobbie starts, but for me, it's going to be key to see where he plays him, because if he plays Kobbie Mainoo where Bruno Fernandes is playing, and plays Bruno Fernandes where Kobbie's playing, this game could get very ugly, because Kobbie, as good as a footballer as he is, hasn't got the legs for that position, And again, I mentioned something as well in one of my previous streams, that when they played against, was it Nottingham Forest, I believe? Was it Nottingham Forest or Newcastle? I think it might be either Newcastle or Nottingham Forest game. Kobbie Mainoo was playing that position, central midfield, and I think I counted 3 nutmegs he done. And again, that will show to you that the kind of player that he is needs to be playing hard at the pitch, because for all my years of watching and playing football, I've never seen a central midfielder comfortably nutmeg players the way that he does in that position of the pitch, especially in the Premier League. So that would tell people a lot that this is a player that needs to be playing high up the pitch. And I'm hoping that Amorim does do that, to be honest. But I think if he plays Bruno where I put Kobbie Mainoo and Kobbie where I put Bruno, I think that United will get beat this game, and I think they'll get beat comfortably. So it's important where he places certain players for me. And then the striking position, again, is going to be a bit of a surprise to people, but not to me. I know he was hauled off after 30 minutes, but for me, again, Joshua Zirkzee for me needs to be starting this game. Again, I don't believe he will start, but I tell you why he does need to start is because, again, ball retention. Liverpool are going to be putting Man United under a lot of pressure. So what Man United need to be doing is getting the ball and keeping it. And if you go with Rasmus Højlund, Højlund is not going to be able to keep the ball. And he's up against Virgil van Dijk. And I believe Konate is not ready yet. And I think Joe Gomez might be injured. So Kwanzaa might be playing. But I believe Joshua Zirkzee needs to play in this game because he's better at keeping the ball. I mean, people might say, you know, Rasmus Højlund will offer the threat in behind. But again, Rasmus Højlund very, very rarely does that role. Too many times he wants to play as a target man and try to hold off players, you know. And so I think against Van Dijk as well, he'll be nullified because Van Dijk arguably the best centre-back in the league and has been for the last few years. He's going to dominate him. So I think Zirkzee, obviously being a compatriot of Van Dijk as well, will know how Van Dijk likes to play in a sense and not probably know what his weaknesses are or if there is any. So I think having Zirkzee playing there is going to be important for United to retain the ball. And then obviously if you want to bring on Rasmus towards the end of the game, then by all means. But I think that team there that I've put out, if he plays that team, I think United can get a good result against Liverpool, as hard as it is going to be. But again, he needs to pick a team that gives United the best chance of winning, the best chance of keeping the ball, the best structure defensively as well. Yeah, so I think I'm happy with that really. And again, I think going with this team, the one change I would do in this team going forward, whether it's to January or to the end of the season, having your best team, the one change I'd make there is take out Bruno Fernandes and put in Casemiro. So I think the Casemiro and Ugarte, even under Van Nistelrooy as well, was working well. And I think if you have Casemiro and Ugarte in there, again, you've got Casemiro who can get you a goal, who's a goal threat from corners and set pieces. Him and Ugarte will provide that foundation to be solid as well as allowing Casemiro to go and join in. You've got Malacia on one side who is defensively. So if you're worried about defensively, you've got someone on that side of the pitch that is a natural fullback and can help out Mazraoui. And then you've got a player that's a winger that can attack and help out the likes of Ahmad as well going forward on that side of the pitch. And again, provide defensive capabilities to Lenny Yoro. And then you've got Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo can do his best work going forward. Joshua Zirkzee, give him the confidence to play and to link the play as well. And I think, again, going forward with this team, you know, obviously taking out Bruno and putting Casemiro in there, I think that's a team there that I can get behind and think, you know what? This is a team that can do something. And again, you have the impact subs like your Brunos, like your Rasmus Højlund, who ain't good enough. But if they're impact subs to the end of the season, I'm happy with that. But I'll say it and I'll say it again. If you're starting the likes of Rasmus Højlund, Bruno Fernandes all the time, I'm not even talking about Garnacho because he's not playing and he ain't good enough as well. He ain't nowhere near good enough as well. Same with Rashford. If you're starting these guys majority of the games, yeah, United are going to continue to fail. I think United need to get a settled team. And again, this is a team that he hasn't played yet. So I think that he needs to kind of look at this team for me and think, you know, that's the way to go forward. And then again in January, for me, he has to sign some players. Who they're going to be targeting, I'm not too sure. There's been obviously players that they've been linked with. You know, I think obviously Cunha, there's talk about him signing a new contract. Again, I said in one of my previous streams, for me, United need to go and get Nuno Mendes and Alphonso Davies. I think if Man United could get hold of Nuno Mendes and Alphonso Davies, that transforms their left side of the pitch, you know. And again, it'll be important for an inside 10, like a Kobe Manu or someone you sign in the summer, having a Nuno Mendes and an Alphonso Davies on that side of the pitch, you know. And I think if United can manage to do a deal for both those players, don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm hoping that they're trying to work on these. Obviously, Alphonso Davies on a free. Nuno Mendes has been interested. Obviously, Amorim is his old manager. If United could get those two, I'm telling you now, I think that transforms that side of the pitch, Nuno Mendes and Alphonso Davies. And again, that will leave obviously other positions that they need to focus on. But for me, I think having Nuno Mendes and Alphonso Davies is going to be key to the system. And I think, again, it changes the whole thing for United. Obviously, there's still players that they need to get out and players that need to get in. But I think at the moment, for what this formation needs, they need someone, again, that's left-footed on the left side, that is quick in the wide areas. And they need someone that's dominant on that left-hand side of the pitch as a winger or as a wing-back, like Alphonso Davies, to give more affordability to the inside 10 to link the play as well with the striker and to create. So, yeah, it's important for me. But I believe if Amorim loses this game, again, the pressure will be piling on to him. But for me, I just want to see him have a settled team. And I just want to see what happens in January. Because I think January, they need to be coming out of January with some players. It's a must, you know. So, but yeah, today's game, I'm going to say this team here that I've picked, I'm going to say, I'll say a 0-0, possibly a 1-0 to Liverpool. If he picks this team, you know, 1-1. But I think if he picks this team, I can see it. I can see it doing well, you know, and I think I'll say 1-1 if he picks this team. If he picks the team, if he picks Harry Maguire as the centre back, Matthias de Ligt, and then Lisandro Martinez, again, not too much pace in that back line there. And if he picks Dalot and Mazraoui as the wing backs, and if he plays Ugarte and Kobe Manu in the midfield with Bruno as the left 10, Ahmad and Højlund as the striker, if he plays that team, I'm saying 4-0 Liverpool. That's how much I think it will be the wrong team to play if he does that, you know. So yeah, I just hope that he plays this team. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, kickoff I believe is at 5 o'clock, I think kickoff. I think the coverage starts at 4:30. So I think 5 o'clock kickoff, I think I would say. But yeah, we'll be there and it'll be a good game. Just a last comment by Nick. So for the sake of the entertainment of the title race, I want this game to be a draw. I mean, to be honest with you, Nick, I would love United to win the game, which I can't really see. Me personally, I think it's going to take Liverpool. It's going to take some stopping to stop Liverpool, to be honest with you, in this title race, because they've got 2 games in hand. Obviously, one being today, and obviously they got the Everton Merseyside derby to come as well. But I think they're the only team at the moment that is consistently winning, and which is why they find themselves at the top. You know, I know Nottingham Forest. Obviously, they're playing tomorrow, and they've got they're in 3rd place at the moment. If they win, they go joint 2nd. But I don't expect Nottingham Forest to continue that run of form. I think Man City. I think it's going to be a tough ask for Man City to win this league. But I think Man City now we're going to go on a run of just winning games. I think they've got over their blip, I would say. I think they're going to start getting players back. Who knows? They might even dip into the market as well. But I can see Man City going on a bit of a run now as well. For the last 2 games, they've won both their last 2 games, and I think they're starting to score some goals now as well. So, yeah, watch out for them. Chelsea again had a bit of a blip, you know. Got a draw yesterday against Crystal Palace, and then Arsenal Arsenal are Arsenal, aren't they? You know what I mean? They'll be thereabouts. You know, they won't win the league, but I can see Arsenal. You know what? I can see Arsenal being in the battle for the top four. I don't think Arsenal finish second or third. I think Man City will come back. You know, because that league table was tight. You know, and again, all it takes is for a few teams to put a couple of wins together, and you're shooting back up that table because it's that tight. So, but the title race for me at the moment is in Liverpool's hands. If I'm honest, you know, and obviously if they win today, that's just going to cement their confidence, and it's going to cement that they're the favourites. But yeah, I think for United's sake, it's about building a team that is cohesive and a team that he can have moving forward. And I think this team that I've picked today, with Onana in goal, Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt, Nusay Mazraoui, Anthony, Ugarte, I'd have Casemiro in there instead of Bruno Fernandes, and give Casemiro the armband as well. Malacia, Ahmad, Xerxes, and Mainu. If he picks this team going forward, I think United fans, and I think a lot of people will be surprised. But I think this is a team that looks good going forward. Again, additions to be made, players to be gone. And I think if he can do that, then again, that'll be something to look forward to, you know. But yeah, guys, hope you guys like the stream. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. I'm going to be back during the week for another stream. Again, if you think that there's other players that should be included in this lineup, feel free to drop that in the comments. And yeah, subscribe to my channel, guys, at Gav Goes In on Twitter. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. Also on and on Instagram as well, at Gav Goes In. Give me some support, guys. Appreciate it. Big up Nick as well for coming on again. And I'll catch you guys during the week. Take it easy.